people that are on these, you just somehow got drawn into the art storefronts ecosystem, or we get some people that attend to a bunch of these things, which welcome back if that's you. But you just gotten drawn into the art storefronts ecosystem. You're like, okay, number one, these people email too much. Number two, do they know what they're doing? Three, can they potentially help me and my art business out? Number four, do I know, like, and trust them? Do they have any credibility whatsoever? Those are the types of questions that abound. And so the fun thing about this particular session specifically is I got to just basically rant on the marketing topic du jour, right? Or whatever I'm finding fancy, and sort of educate you guys on something that you can go away with. It's going to help you in your business, like literally today. At the tail end of that session, we open it up to Q&A, and when we get closer to that, I'll explain how that works. You can throw questions in the chat throughout. I will get to those. Sometimes I answer them mid-rant, and then other times I wait until the session's over, and then we get into them. In addition to today's session, we also run sessions just like this where they give you the full tour of all the software and all the back end and all the themes and all the pricing and all the plans and all the bells, all the whistles. You can ask all of those questions too. And you can do those in a one-on-one fashion, or you can do a one-to-many fashion. The one-to-many fashion is exactly this same time slot on Wednesday and on Friday, and we will email you about those. And so that's just an option. So I don't have like all the ins and outs anywhere near as well as the outreach team does, who you'd be talking to if you had a demo or if went on a group demo. So this one's just for me ranting. I also want to mention, don't leave this session without subscribing to the podcast. The podcast is very good. It is very tactical. It is 100% free. It is anywhere podcasts are downloaded. Most of you guys listen, at least according to my statistics, on Apple Podcasts. So I have Apple Podcast up here. It's called the Art Marketing Podcast. It has that disgusting orange logo that is really ugly that I really want to get updated. But the content is really, really good. It is an easy way to keep up with the latest and greatest, about information that we're releasing and intel that we're releasing. And, one of the beautiful things of having 8,700 customers is I get to see all of their data, okay? And I get to see not just all of their data, but all of their data tied to sales. And we study our customers very closely. And so I feel like a lot of the data that we present, a lot of the topics that we choose to rant on are extremely timely and data-driven, meaning there are real artists, real photographers putting these techniques to practice to grow their art and photography businesses. So I wanted to rant today a little bit about a couple of topics that are fresh on my mind that I think are really, really important, that I think the vast majority of artists and photographers are getting significantly wrong. It'll probably take me 20 minutes to rant through this. I think you guys will find it informative. I hope you will find it informative. I'll tell some cool stories, and then we can get into the Q&A on the backside. And then you can ask anything about anything, and I pretty much have the answers on just about everything, about what we do. But I'm happy to answer any marketing-related conundrums you guys may have, or really any questions about anything. I love doing the Q&A. So anyone that's been drawn into our ecosystem for any period of time, and especially this year, one of the biggest takeaways I've had from, again, working with customers, studying what they're doing, looking at the most successful, is this notion of how many new customers did you acquire, okay? And I want to define what a new customer is. A new customer is someone that hands over the credit card details and purchases something from you. That is the important part. The second important part is that you retain the email information, ideally email and snail mail, so that you can market to these folks in the future. What is not important is the dollar amount in which they transacted commerce with you, or the item. It doesn't necessarily need to be wall art. It can be anything. And I would go as far to say that the number of new customers you acquire per year, okay, especially when you can market to them consistently, is the number one determinant factor of an art or a photography business. And you routinely, when I ask this question, like, hey, how many customers did you acquire last year? Most people, it's, maybe I got to go look at the receipts of the shoebox, or what I sold here, what I sold there. And it's not a metric that anyone is taking seriously. It's not a metric that anyone optimizes their business towards. And it is the single solitary most important thing that you could be focused on for a number of reasons. And this is what I want to get into today. Number one, just so it's said, the easiest customer to get is the one that you already have. That's just common knowledge in business, period. It is especially true in what you guys do in this creative world. The easiest customer to get is the one that you already have, i.e. it is much easier to get someone that's purchased something from you to come back and purchase again than it is to go out and find a stranger to purchase for the first time. Once you realize that, you start to realize, like, okay, then I really need to be optimizing what I'm doing towards acquiring new customers. And if I'm not doing that, if I'm not thinking about that, I am just being busy on things that I tell myself are keeping me so busy, but that are not fundamentally moving my business forward in the slightest. And it's critically important you understand that. The biggest force multiplier this particular business has is the collector phenomenon. What is a collector? A collector is someone that will purchase multiple pieces from you throughout the course of their lifetime. You keep creating, you keep getting better, they keep coming back again and again and again. It is one of the phenomenons of this particular industry, and you realize that in order for a collector to become a collector, you have to acquire the new customer first, okay? And that's why it is so important to acquire the new customer, and that is why it's so fundamental to growing an art or a photography business. You have no idea who purchases from you will eventually turn into a collector. No one does. And so you realize that get the most collectors possible, it is just a volume game on how many individual new customers you're acquiring per year. And the framework that I like to leverage on my customers is, or encourage my customers, I should say, is the 10X methodology. So let's say you acquired 70 customers last year. Wonderful, great job. For this year, I want you to take the number, multiply it by 10. So that would be 700 customers this year, and that is my goal for you and your business this year. Most people hear that 700 number, and they're like, Patrick, what are you smoking, and can I have some? 700 pieces of wall art in a year? That's insane. And it does sound insane, and it is insane when you talk about wall art. Wall art is very difficult to sell. It's a longer sales cycle. But when you realize that the customers you acquire, the easiest customer to get is the one that you already have, then you can start contemplating your lineup and what the composition of your lineup and your price points look like, such that it's a little bit easier to acquire customers than it is for you currently. It is a fundamental thing, and it's a topic that I'm very, very hot on this particular year with my customer base, and then also the content that I'm putting out on these sessions and the podcast and the like. So I want to get into this today as it pertains to social media, all right? As it pertains to social media and how to think about how you guys are marketing on social media, but it works just as good offline as it does online, as it does in the social channels, as it does on your website and everywhere else. And so that's what I want to rant on. The new customer acquisition is so critically important. And, you know, I ran a case study with a customer recently, and he's been with us for a long time, like 6 or 7 years, and he came out with a brand new limited edition. His particular subject matter material is celebrities of sorts. And so he created a new limited edition. It's relatively expensive. It's on acrylic. It's hand-signed, endorsed by the celebrity in question, and he sold $46,000 worth, I think, in the first week. He sold those primarily to his list, okay, to his list of folks. And he came to me and he's like, hey, I just had a great success, but I still have 150, or I started with 150 of these limited editions. I have whatever I have left, like 110, 120, whatever he has left. I need to sell the rest of them. Can you help me with some Facebook and Instagram ads? And I was like, yeah, first of all, congratulations. That's a fantastic accomplishment already on what you did. I will help you with the Facebook and Instagram ads because I realize the position you're in right now, you need to exhaust whether or not it's going to work. What I'm telling you, it's not going to work. Because the thought that you are going to go onto Facebook and Instagram and you're going to invest some money and you're going to show a $2,000 piece of wall art to a bunch of people that don't know you, have never met you, are not emotionally bonded to you, have not been following you on Instagram, have not been getting your emails, the odds of success of that particular endeavor are extremely, extremely low because that is not how art sells, okay? And the analogy that I gave him before I went ahead and helped him with the ads, and I'll get to the outcome in a second, like, we just got an electric car in my household. The electric car has an outlet in it that is always on. I was like, awesome. I've always wanted to get one of these plug-in coolers. It's basically a cooler that's really a refrigerator. It plugs in. No more ice ever. Amazing, right? Amazing. So what did I do? I started Googling around all the cooler makers. I found the one that I liked. Then I Googled that one versus. Then I went to the website. Then I saw what the more expensive brand cost. And then I arrived at the one that I liked. And then I went and watched on YouTube 4 different videos of people explaining the good, the bad, the ugly of this particular cooler, why it's awesome, why it's not, do you want it? Then, after about 2 hours worth of research and 27 different touch points, I bought the cooler, okay? That is how wall art sells. That is especially how expensive wall art sells, okay? So one of the biggest frustration points that all of you guys have is you're taking your expensive wall art products and you're going onto social media and you're trying to market them and trying to market them and trying to market them and banging your head against the wall and you're not getting any sales and you're wondering why. Because that is not how wall art sells. In addition to that, frustratingly so, not everybody is ready to buy wall art all the time. They're just not. One of the analogies that I like to give that I liken it to is it's kind of like when we're in the market for a mattress, okay? When we're in the market for a mattress, like when our backs hurt, when that thing is turned into a giant dippy thing or we need a new one, it's like, okay, we're switched on. We're listening to the audio ads. We're going by stores. We're looking at all advertising. We're reading reviews. We go and buy the mattress. And then once done, that advertising, we don't see any of it. We don't even realize mattresses are for sale. It doesn't exist because we're not in the market for one. And that is how wall art works. If you are not in the market for it, no one is really purchasing it within reason. There's still some things that happen in an impulse fashion. So anyway, I finished up the ads on the case study with this particular gentleman, and he allotted like an $800 budget, and I killed it at like $400. He spent $400 targeting cold audiences that love this celebrity, and he got one add to cart, person disappeared, and one person sent him a message, person didn't close. And I was like, this is just a terrible idea. Like, this will never work. And it got to me thinking that you guys, the smart artists on here, are contrarian thinkers. You realize that no matter how you feel about it, okay, we need to be doing marketing on the social media sites, by which I mean Facebook and Instagram, being Instagram the more important of the two. It's a visual social network. What do you guys sell? Visual things. It makes a ton of sense, right? And you don't have to like social media to be contrarian about it, okay? All of you guys are here because you want to grow your art businesses and you're looking for ways to do that. In order to do that, we have to be contrarian in the sense that we're all just fishermen, okay? We show up at the docks every morning and we get in the boat and we drive the boat to where the fish are. The fish are on Instagram, so we need to be marketing on Instagram, okay? So, all right, knowing that, and Facebook's important too, but we need to be marketing on this too. Knowing that, what do? We go right on there with our expensive wall art and showing it off and occasionally running sales, and it doesn't work and it doesn't comport to the expectations that we have, and we think, this sucks. I'm always going to have a hobby. I should have listened to my mother. I might as well quit now and give it all up, right? Or it doesn't sell. Or maybe I'm not good enough. All the pangs of self-doubt that come with this business. What you realize, though, when you've been doing this for any period of time, especially when we know that the number of new customers we acquire is the entire ballgame, is you have to understand the venue that you're playing in, okay? Now, on this call are a diverse group of people with a diverse group of interests that are all over this country in every niche imaginable, different age groups. We are a diverse bunch. But whatever we like, comment, and share on Instagram and on Facebook, whatever websites we visit, is how Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, used to be Facebook, Meta chooses what ads to target us. And so all of us get a different range of ads when we're on Instagram and a different range of ads on Facebook. You've obviously seen our annoying ads. Many of you are here as a result of that. But the thing that's unique, and especially on Instagram, is I don't care if it's showing you golf clubs and that's your jam, or gardening equipment, or handbags, ladies, or shoes, or clothes, or wallets, or wedding rings, whatever it is. What we often notice is the ads that continue to show up on Instagram again and again and again tend to be what falls into impulse buy type of buckets. What do I mean by an impulse buy? The price point is usually under $100, around $100, maybe slightly over $100, okay? Number two, you don't need any permission to buy it. You don't have to talk to your significant other. You don't have to talk to your accountant. There's no major commitments. You can go ahead and hit buy now, get that receipt, get a little dopamine hit, feel good about whatever's going to be coming in the mail. A package is magically going to show up, right? And the reason that you're shown those ads is because those advertisers are the ones that continue to see an ROI of what they are advertising on Instagram. You know, in this is inside baseball, but it's important. Tail end of 19, early 20, and into 2021, Apple got into a major tete-a-tete pissing match with Facebook, Instagram, Meta. And what Apple essentially said was, You no longer get to track our users. They delivered a new version of iOS. We all updated our phones. We all got those prompts that say, do you want them to track you? All of us said no. So what that did is it made it extremely difficult for the majority of e-commerce brands to make Facebook and Instagram ads work. Pretty much overnight, an entire chunk of them, a huge chunk of them just disappeared. And the ones that are left are the ones that are extremely adept at turning in ROI. And so my lesson for today is, as artists and photographers attempting to sell our creations, there is a ton that we can learn from those ads that we see on Instagram that we can put into practice, okay, that will help us make sales on that platform, acquire new customers, and win in our organic posts, all right? And my premise here is that you need to understand this notion of the impulse buy. The impulse buy, again, around 100, under 100, slightly over 100, doesn't take a huge buying commitment. Could it be wall art? Yes, some wall art qualifies as an impulse purchase, but not the majority of it, and wall art is not enough, which means you need to have non-wall art in your lineup. You need to have non-wall art in your lineup. And in addition to that, or what that normally means is merchandise of one stripe or the other. Now, let me just head this thing off at the pass, because I know someone on here is going to say merchandise. I'm a fine artist, okay? I am a fine artist. I'm a high-end fine artist. I'm not selling schlocky stuff or merchandise. Are you kidding me? To which I always snarkily respond, tell me the last time that you went into a museum that didn't have a gift shop. Don't worry, I'll wait. If Van Gogh's art can be on the wall and they can sell things in a gift shop, I'm sorry, so can yours. It is just a rule of business and nothing more. A rule of business that the vast majority of hoity-toity artists and photographers decide to forget, and then they don't acquire anywhere near the new customers they can, and then their business doesn't go anywhere, okay? And it infuriates me. It infuriates me. Anyway, passionate subject for me. So you need to have the non-wall art as a part of the lineup. I don't care what the non-wall art is. I never have. Like, when you sign up for Art Storefronts, you're instantaneously integrated with our merch partner, and you can sell a myriad of different things. Coasters and calendars and tote bags and yoga mats and cell phone cases, greeting cards, puzzles, whatever. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. I have some customers that like to buy the wooden spoons on Amazon and then hand paint those things, okay? They hand paint them, and that's what they sell. And those things look awesome, actually. I want to get a couple. I got to find out if they're dishwasher safe. Anyway, you need to have something that is non-wall art related, okay? As a bonus, you need to have something that's non-wall art related that you actually have a sample of that you can show in your hand on a video if you're gonna do that on Instagram, or a selfie of some kind, or a photo of you merchandising the thing. When you do, you open up an entire new world of understanding how marketing works on the most important platform. When you do, you will start acquiring more new customers than you ever thought possible. Inevitably, what happens is that you guys go and do your marketing, right? And people get drawn into your ecosystem, however it is. They got on your email list. They followed you on Facebook. A friend said this person's awesome. They looked you up on Instagram. Whatever it is, they're now in your ecosystem, and they might really like what you're doing. But the problem is they're not in the market for wall art, right? Their mattress is working just fine, to use that earlier analogy. And so do you know what they do? Sadly, they forget about you. Maybe they follow you on Instagram, maybe you get an email, and that's okay. But the rules, the mathematical odds say they have now forgotten about you. What happens when you have something non-wall art related that is a low commitment type of a purchase, which is perfect to market with on Instagram, many of these people will start rewarding you for your creativity. That's essentially them saying, hey, I love what you do. I'm not necessarily interested in that big thing now, but I want to support you. So go ahead and I'm going to buy this thing. And that sounds all well and good, right? But then the other thing that I get pushed back on is like, Patrick, selling that schlocky stuff, I make a couple of $5, $6 here, $7 there, $10 there. Completely true. You're not going to get rich on any of these particular things. But this is where everyone screws up and you don't understand, okay? I've spent a career trying to be a competent digital marketer. I spent millions and tens of millions of dollars on Facebook and Instagram ads. Do you know what I can't do with a Facebook and Instagram ad? I can't staple it on the wall of your kitchen like a calendar can. A calendar can go on your wall 365 days a year, and every single solitary day for the next year, I'm looking at your artwork. A sticker can go on my garage refrigerator, and every time I go in there to grab a beer, I am now seeing your art every day, sometimes multiple times a day. I'm working on it. So when you understand that, okay, you understand that not only are you acquiring a customer when you have these things in your lineup, okay, not only are you making lower purchase commitment items that people can reward you with, not only are you creating pieces with your work on it that speaks to the type of shopping that is most prevalent on the most important platform in the world, but you are putting your artwork in their hands rather than leaving and never coming back ever again. And that's the ball game. That is a large part of the ball game. And is that your entire business? Am I telling you to stop selling wall art? No. I'm telling you this is like a little growth machine, a pillar of your business that almost everyone ignores, and you are making it so much harder to acquire new customers. And you got to fix this. And oh, by the way, it works in every damn scenario you're in. Oh, you have an in-person this, that, or the other, an in-person event? Well, guess what? It's very, very easy to bring these things with you and put them on the table, put them on the counter, have them in your car, I don't care what, and be able to sell them because it's a low commitment, easy thing to do. All of you guys, for the most part, do not like running sales. And Tim just told me my audio is low. If anyone else thinks my audio is low, will you throw that in the chat? And Tim, I turned it up a little bit for you. Not only that, like, everybody, and I'm taking this feedback from my customers, okay? They hate running sales. Everybody hates running sales. Almost all artists and photographers hate running sales. 30% off, 20% off, 40% off. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. That sounds terrible, right? When you contemplate, when you realize that, one, you need to get over that because sales are critically important in this business. But two, not all sales are created equal. There's a ton of nuance. There's a ton of variance in the art selling process, okay? And one of the beautiful things with merch is you can start having flash sales. And do you know what flash sales are? They're really, really fun. They can be creative. They will not have you feeling like a schlocky used car salesman, okay? You can say, guys, it's Friday. I'm in a good mood. So I'm going to have a flash sale on my mugs. You probably drink coffee or tea every morning. Do you know what you don't do? You're not drinking it in my super sweet mug on my cup. So for just today, because I like Fridays and I'm in a good mood and I appreciate you guys, for anyone that buys a mug, take 5% off, 10% off, buy one, get one free, whatever. Oh, there was something in that. You show the thing off, you sip your coffee in it, and you say thanks. The sale ends at midnight. You can come visit me on my site. You can hit me up on Instagram, send me a DM, and you're done. And you just run a sale. And you did that all by holding your camera up, going live on Instagram, recording the thing on Instagram and being done. That's phenomenal. That's incredible. Like all of a sudden you just ran another sale. And guess what? All of these people that follow you and are not ready to buy wall art and really like you will reward your creativity. They will be excited to do so. And it will fundamentally change the way that you look at your business. And look, is it the entire art business? Okay, what I've just laid out here? No, not at all. It is a creative way to take advantage of your creations for people that are not ready to buy wall art on the most important platform so that you can acquire new customers that were more likely to come back and eventually turn into collectors. And these are the types of things that we teach at Art Storefronts. These are the types of things that we cover at Art Storefronts. These are the types of things that no one ever covered in art school or photography school on how do you actually monetize the damn creative talent that you have and build a business. Well, this is one of them. And it's fundamental. And almost no one gets it right. And watch what happens once you change this and you do get it right. It literally works in every single solitary aspect of your business. Like, one of the things our software does automatically is it happens before you check out and it happens after you check out. And let's say I come to Julie's store here and I'm going to buy the 9 pieces that are on the wall behind her, right? And right before I check out, it says, hey, Patrick, do you want to add a box of mugs to your order for an additional $100? Yes or no? And I can say yes or no. Then put my credit card in, takes the credit card, and the confirmation page after it's taken my credit card say, hey, Patrick, do you want a set of coasters to go with those 9 prints that you bought? They're for like $150. We find just by turning those things on, turning those 2 features off, we call them revenue boosters. Some people call them one-click upsells, but it happens before the transaction and after the transaction. When you have the non-wall art stuff in there, people are like, oh my gosh, I can get 10 of these things and I'm going to knock out 10 Christmas gifts, 10 stocking stuffers, or I'm going to have them with me in those times where I don't have a gift to give away. Like, it just works. It significantly increases the business. And so when you get this aspect solved, all of a sudden you are in a significantly better place to acquire new customers. You're increasing the AOV, the average order value oftentimes, and you're giving yourself a much larger list to market to. And it's going to give you a huge self-esteem bump, okay? Because you're going to start selling more on Instagram. You're going to start selling more in person. You're going to start selling more on Facebook. You're going to have better conversations. And are you going to get rich on it? No, you're not. But all of you guys are playing the long game, okay? You're going to be doing this for decades and decades and decades to come. I routinely get people on these Zoom calls in their 90s asking me art marketing tips, which is a fantastic thing. Like, you guys don't turn the creativity off. So understand the game you play. It is the long game. I'll end my rant there, and we'll get into the Q&A. How does the Q&A work? For those that have their cameras on, and of course, something's wrong with the Zoom thing today. Everything is just going haywire in my setup. Is it my children? I don't know. I got to hide self view. Normally it shows up on my screen, but I'm looking at that, and that's definitely not showing up. Oh, I know what happened. I'm going to try and fix that. Okay. I'm gonna take Sadia's question first, and then I'm gonna circle back and tell you guys how you can all ask questions. She's had her hand up the whole entire time. Go ahead, Sadia. I gotta fix this while you're talking, so I promise I'm listening. Go ahead.
Hey, Patrick. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay, good. So this is my third time attacking you guys at ASF.
Wonderful.
I've tried it at 2017. I tried it again during 2020. My mental health has been nasty.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Been hospitalized and all that good stuff, you know.
Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that.
So I'm ready to come back. So I'm just wondering, first of all, is that okay? Can I come back?
Yes, of course you can come back.
Yes, thank you.
Did you sign up in the first place? Were you a customer before?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I had my website and everything going. The second time I tried, I had my website, and then I just couldn't tackle it because, yummy mental health issues.
Oh, yes. Trust me. I'm well aware of those in certain capacities, so I get you.
Oh, God, and I swear it gets worse the older you get. But also, I saw that little ad where you guys were setting up the website and everything. Is that still available?
Well, 100% it's still available.
Oh, good. Okay. I mean, I booked a demo call. I guess I should hear from you guys within 2 to 3 days. So
yes,
I'm really excited to come back to you guys again because you are a godsend. You help so much.
I appreciate it.
I didn't realize it the other times. So.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, this time when, if you're like, one of the cool things that we have, and maybe they offered it to you or didn't, I don't know, but like, they let you put the account into hibernation mode. So you don't have to pay for it, but then you don't lose everything. If you have an emergency or whatever else, like, they don't leave it active for you, but they put the thing in hibernation mode, and then you don't lose everything. Everything's connected. Everything's good to go. And then when you come back, you just turn it all on.
Right. Oh, cool. That's very cool. And another question I had, I only do like one of a kind original products. Like, I just make one and move on to the next.
Yes.
Can I do like limited edition, maybe coffee mugs or something like that?
Yes, you can do limited edition anything. We encourage them quite significantly all the time across the board on like a whole bunch of different things. So yes, absolutely you can and should.
Okay, great. I am good then. Thank you, Patrick.
Wonderful. Thanks, Audie. I'm happy to hear you're doing great again. Okay, normally I have my super suite setup that shows this thing on my screen, but now it is just not working, and I don't know why, and it's very frustrating. Anyway, how do we do Q&A? So I guess I can show this part. This part's still working. At the bottom of your Zoom window, there's like this little smiley face, and it says reactions. If you click that thing, there's a way to raise your hand, digitally speaking. That's super helpful for me because then it lets me know you have a question. But if you're one of the brave ones that has your camera on and you have a question, you can raise your hand old school style, and I'll see that, and I can bring you on one at a time. And then I can, of course, cycle through the chats too, but I like to prioritize the people that want to ask the questions live. So, yeah, who's up next? Who wants to go? All right, DC, I gotcha. You're up. Go ahead. You'll need to unmute, Daisy. It's a bottom left. Yep, gotcha.
Is that me?
That's you. Gotcha.
Oh, okay. Hi, Patrick.
Hi.
Thank you. I'm a crafter.
Mm-hmm.
And a painter
Mm-hmm.
and about everything. I just love art. I have a question that if you use recycle items, is there any kind of patent?
No. So I know exactly where you're going with that question, and let me answer. I'm not a lawyer, so I cannot give you legal advice. I'm inclined to say that. I like to operate under the "it's easier to beg forgiveness than ask permission" type of a framework. And what happens, practically speaking, is if you hit it big and sold $10 million worth of items, would someone come after you? Yes, they potentially could. What usually happens in that case? They ask for some sort of per unit commission, right? Like, I've seen a ton of people. Let me put it this way. Almost a decade of this now. What are we at now? 8,700 customers. I think we've only gotten one, maybe two letters from lawyers, which were like, their takedown notices, basically like, take this down, it's copyrighted, whatever. That's it.
Oh, okay.
That's it the entire time. So I really think it's a situation where it's like, don't worry about it. Just do you. The worst that's going to happen is you get a letter from a lawyer. If you get a letter from a lawyer, then, I'm sorry, take it all down and, move on. That's kind of how we
So Cuban cigar bans wouldn't be a problem.
I highly doubt that the communist Cuban government. I've been to that place, by the way. I had a great time. My wife hated it. I had a great time. I shouldn't say hated it. It made her sad, but yeah, I think you're going to be okay.
All right, sounds great.
But again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just telling you.
Okay, and on another thing, if I were to have a, let me see, an impulse buy studio, are vintage items allowed in that?
Yes,
or no?
yes. Any items are allowed in that. It's really just maths. It's really just the price point maths. Like, non-wall art, and like, keep it under $100 or slightly over $100, and you're in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daisy. Okay, guys, questions? Who else? Got a shy bunch today. Oh, see, there we go, Julie. There we go. All right, Julie's up next. You got to unmute, Julie. It's the mic icon, bottom left-hand corner.
Okay. Hello there.
Hi.
This is my first time listening. I've been getting the emails, so I finally said, fine, I'll listen. Okay.
It only took us about 3,000 to send to you. Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
My question is, I was a former photojournalist at a newspaper. Now I'm an event photographer. Mm-hmm. But what I really like is my art photography. That's what I really like to do. And I never sold anything, never done anything. I go on Instagram and get my 20 likes and move on to the next day. So my question is, my stuff, the stuff behind me, I have a gazillion flowers. That's different. I have, it's abstract photography, and it's almost all shot on my iPhone.
Okay.
And so my question is, I don't think it would hold up large. And so when I see the wall art, and you talk about wall art, is there a way, I don't even know because I haven't navigated your site, to say, like, in a way, let people know this is not big. It's maybe 8" by 8" or maybe 10 by 10. That's my question.
Extremely easy. And the beautiful thing is our software is automated for it. So when you upload the image, our software studies the image and it says, this is as big as you can go on a print.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have someone on your end that looks through, just say, my Instagram feed and says, oh yes, this is sellable, or, oh yes, I mean, I don't know who to go to test the market, or to see, like, if I sent your company or you my Instagram page, in a second you can see it and be like, oh yes, interesting, or it's a little weird, something like that.
Yeah. So this is the interesting thing about this particular business is no one can answer that question for you. And don't let anyone tell you they can answer that question for you. Okay. Because I've learned one thing over my long tenure here is no one can pick racehorses. You think you can pick racehorses, but you cannot pick racehorses. Okay, I gotta watch what I say here because I get myself into massive trouble. Okay, I studied photography at school. Okay, I mean, multiple classes, darkroom sessions, studying the masters, understand the rule of thirds framing. I'm quite competent with a camera. I've got a great DSLR, the whole thing. I have got customers that take snapshots and don't understand framing and do quite well. And I do not understand how, okay? And I do not understand why. But ultimately, whatever they're doing creatively, they found a tribe that believes in what they do, and it works. On the flip side, I've got one guy, I'm telling you, I cannot tell whether it is a photograph or he painted it. He is that good with the brush. And the subject matters are like politically charged in this amazing way. You know, not like Republican, Democrat, but like critique on society, these things that he paints. And he almost sells nothing. And I don't understand it. I mean, I can't understand how beautiful these things are. You, your friend, your mother, your sister, strangers, no one can tell you whether or not it's going to work. The only thing that matters is that credit card coming out of that wallet and sliding through that machine. So no one else can tell you. I don't care. Like everyone's like, I was in a juried art show. I got a ton of likes and comments on Instagram or on Facebook or on TikTok. I'm like, yeah, wonderful. Hear that? That's me knocking at your front door. Just picked you up. We're going to go drive over to the ATM machine. You show me on the ATM machine where it says likes, comments, and shares. Juried art show. I won best in there. None of those buttons exist on the ATM machine because they are all bullshit, right? So you have to be brutally honest with yourself. Like, you don't know. I don't know. No one can tell you. The only thing I can tell you is getting it in front of strangers' eyeballs and seeing whether or not it'll sell. And that's the ballgame.
Interesting. Okay, and if no one minds, I'll just put up my Instagram name there just because I'm talking about it, and
No
and I love it. But it's like I think of myself. My work is I went to the art center out in Pasadena, and I shoot bar mitzvahs almost every Saturday.
Nice.
So I'm thankful that I make a living with my camera and taking pictures. But
yeah, so here's the other thing, and you're going to send me down a tangent, and it's going to infuriate me, but I will do it quickly. One of the beautiful things, okay, about that whole rant that I just went through is it absolutely applies to you and what you do for the bar mitzvah. I mean, one of the beautiful things that we lock down for folks is the POD side of the equation. POD stands for print on demand. The minute you sign up, you're connected to a printer. You can do every media type size, all of that, and then you can do all the merchandise, every media type size, no minimums, high quality. They take care of all of it. It's all automated. Okay. You now shoot bar mitzvahs. When you go and shoot those bar mitzvahs, you are essentially trading dollars for hours. So at the end of the day, you know, you could keep raising your prices, right? But you're going to hit a wall there where they're going to be like, you know, you're not the only bar mitzvah photographer in town. So your AOV is more or less fixed. That's a problem. We need a way to increase that. One of the ways to increase that is the next time that you're pitching a bar mitzvah, or next time you are at a bar mitzvah, have a little table somewhere with a bunch of different metal prints and acrylic prints and wood prints and coffee mugs and greeting cards, and say all of this is available for any of the photos at your bar mitzvah. I can do it in 2 seconds. Just let me know. Watch what happens to your business when you set yourself up to the impulse buys. If your AOV per those sessions is normally $1,000, I am confident by just having this portion of Art Storefronts working for you, all the print on demand fulfillment, you'll increase your AOV from $1,000 to $1,350, $1,450, $1,550 per session. In addition to that, because the quality of the product are so great, especially on the prints, they will call you again and again and again. They'll call you again and again for more and more and more. So it's a good racket, the bar mitzvahs. Okay, people spend. I'm not going to go down the tangent. I have a ton of Jewish friends, but I have one buddy, Persian, Mexican, and Jewish, okay? Part of the like crazy Persian tribe, 795 people at his wedding. These people go to weddings so often they talk through his entire best man speech. My entire best man speech, I almost lost it. Anyway, the opportunities for those types of niches are incredible. When you have a way to increase your AOV, like what I just outlined, like all of which you could do, you have yet another way to increase the revenue in your business while you're taking the time to slow cook the fine art portion.
But clarify, you said bring to the bar mitzvah, bring a table with my stuff? Is that what you said?
Yes. Now, they might not let you in every single solitary instance, but you could just as easily bring it when you have the meeting with the people that are hiring you for the bar mitzvah, right? The point is like, there is this disconnect in the service photography industry in which people are like, well, I just provide a digital archive and they can go do what they want and get it printed where they want. No, they don't want to go to Costco or figure out how to do prints. Like, don't make me think. Just tell me what I can order and it's awesome. And then I get it. Boom. Right. So that's the way to think about it.
I'm guessing that's what my Zenfolio website does when I send them the link. If they want to order, I include pictures to my clients, but everyone else, like, just send them to my website and they can order pictures. But I don't physically make pictures for the other people.
Exactly.
So is this your competition? Is like a Zenfolio Lightroom?
Ish. You know, Zenfolio is just not effective at doing it in the slightest. It's not a knock on them.
No.
They're just, you know, the website is just garbage. So we're a little bit better and we give you some of the marketing techniques and tactics.
Would you take over so I would be using your software, your website instead of Zenfolio? It would be redundant to have both Zenfolio and Art Storefront.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
And your people will help me do the transferring from Zenfolio to Art Storefronts.
No, unfortunately, like the way that works is they all make it really, really difficult to transfer the images. So my people would help you build a bunch of different things. But ultimately you have to get the images out of Zenfolio. They're very effective at making that like a golden set of handcuffs.
But if I have all the images in Lightroom, so it's I could just find them again. That's not the problem. So then what your people helping me, that's what I would be purchasing, would be some help to say, we can help you make a website instead of Zenfolio that will be better for marketing in the back end.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Julie. Okay, Stephanie, and then I'll go to, I haven't seen any other hands, so we'll go from there. Yeah, you're unmuted. Stephanie, go ahead. Oh, boo. So Stephanie, I've not seen a microphone show up on your setup at all, which means it tells me there's not an active mic. What I would probably do, Stephanie, are you on your phone? Oh, it says connecting to audio now. Okay, good. You're good. You're getting it. Okay, you can unmute, Stephanie, and you'll come on. Oh no, I can see you, but I can't hear you. Shoot, are you on your cell phone? Give me your. I can't tell if you're on your cell phone or not. Okay, we'll go to somebody else. If you're on your cell phone, Stephanie, I would probably bail, download the Zoom app on your phone, and then come back in. The Zoom app's free. It'll take 2 seconds. It'll fix this whole nonsense. Because normally the mic just works, and I don't know. I don't know why it's not. Okay, who else, guys? Questions? I'll leave you unmuted though, Stephanie. If I hear you, then you know, you got it.
Is this coming through now?
Oh, see, there we go. You got it. You got it.
Okay. I'm glad, because I had a follow-up question.
Yeah,
so using those without a new scenario, but assume your bar mitzvah clients are not the same as your other clients. Like,
it doesn't matter.
That's not my exact scenario, but do you need to have a private, does your private social media account need to be your public account for sharing all your stuff if you have different types of customers for different types of art?
Yeah, I mean, that's a
and can you remain private?
Yeah.
is the key.
Yeah, I know. It's a complicated question, right? Like I usually, you know, where that question inevitably goes is like, well, do I have multiple social media accounts? To which I respond like, have you ever tried to babysit multiple kids versus one kid? Much easier watching the one kid. Nobody wants to watch the multiple kids, I can assure you. They'll mess up your computer setup like they did in mine. So I think it's important to just have the one and see what happens. Like early on, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know which one of those particular niches would potentially become your number one breadwinner. And you're trying to figure that out right now, right? So you can throw a bunch of that stuff all up there, see what happens, keep working, keep grinding on the business. And what you might find out is a myriad of things. You might find out that nobody cares. They just like you for you and just keep doing what you're doing and they'll call you. Or you might find that everybody is over-indexing on this one particular thing that you keep doing. Okay, well, that's the world telling you, guess what, Stephanie? This is now your niche. Forget all that other nonsense. Delete it off Instagram and go in all in on this. So you won't know that until you start getting some momentum and you start getting rolling a little bit. But that's what I would do. I wouldn't go starting multiple social accounts and multiple identities and everything else. That's a recipe for disaster. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Steph. Okay, so does somebody else have a question? Yeah, Daisy's back again. And then I'll get into the chat too, don't worry.
Hi, Patrick. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
So, if we hopefully sign up with you, and do we still need to get a license, or does this incorporate everything?
So,
I'm a newbie.
Yeah,
so
a business license is really like more a town for town, municipality for municipality type of a question. I don't even get a bank account until I have a check that's made out to the business name. So that's how I roll. Like, everyone's like, oh, I got to go get the business account started. I was like, yeah, wait until the check is written in your name that you have the deposit, then go start the business account, right? So I would sell some art.
Okay.
I would sell some art, and I would not worry about it until I sold over like $600, and then I would go find out from an accountant or whatever else.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Stacey. All right. Who else, guys? Questions? I see in the chat, someone asked who we're integrated with for printers. So the printers would give you the option of Bay Photo on the West Coast, and there's another outfit called Graphic Dimensions that's on the East Coast, and they're both massive. It doesn't matter which one you use. You can use either or. For customers in Canada, because there's import exports, we have a Canadian one as well. And then the merchandise partner that we integrate with is called Guten. One of the most important thing about merch is like what I said in the presentation, which is how effective it is at acquiring new customers. Sort of the pain with merch, a lot of times people will use some of these third-party Redbubble or this one or that one or the rest of them, and all of their software is usually really clunky, and the way that it works and the way that you align the images is really clunky and it's hard. So we pick someone that we believe has the best technology in terms of like a website presentation and how it all works, and that's why we picked Guten. But you can Google them too. It's Gooten, 3 O's. Guten. You'll find it. So that's what I would say. That answers that question. When can you see a website in action? I could certainly get into some of those, Karen. All of our websites look like remarkably similar, and I have like a long-winded rant on that. But I imagine you just want to see a couple of website examples, Karen, and I can send you those after this is over if that makes it easier and browse them at your leisure, if you like. Okay, I remain anonymous. I've never sold a piece online, only local galleries and art shows. How do I create a network that will allow me to sell online? The good news there is the fact that you've sold in galleries tells me you have a product that the market wants. The bad news is you got an ugly couple of years ahead of you as you build up that network. But guess what happens when you do? Your whole business changes, and then it just keeps going year after year after year after year. So that's what we teach you to do all year long, on how to sell direct, on what to do, on the marketing techniques and tactics. It's a little bit of a grind at first to learn how to do all of these things and build your audience, but you need to do it. Otherwise, you're a tenant farmer when you're just working with the galleries, because they don't let you know who purchases. You have no way of ever building a collector list, which makes it really, really hard. So that's what we teach all year long. So that's how I would answer that. All right. Who else, guys? Comments, questions, concerns? Somebody was asking me if we have digital artists. We do indeed. We have quite a few digital artists. Doesn't change anything at all, whether it's digital or not. Makes it much easier for you to not have to get the work photographed when you're a digital artist. I'll tell you that much. That part is much easier. But okay, guys, who else? Comments, questions, concerns? Subscribe to my podcast. I'm telling you, you'll enjoy it. It's good. Julie's back for round 2. Go ahead, Julie.
Unmute. Got it.
Yep, gotcha.
I know I can tell how you find us, because with the emails, and I've seen that when I clicked on it the first time. Mm-hmm. Does art storefronts find advertise to find people that want to buy art? Like, how does someone that's in the market, I needed something for my wall?
Yeah.
How do they find you?
So we're not like a marketplace, right? Like every individual customer owns their own website, and they're the ones that are responsible for driving those eyeballs to their website. Now, that's what we teach all year long. All year long. That's what we teach. Oh my gosh, I fixed it. Amazing. So that's what we teach all year long. And, it's a grind. It's a combination of absolutely everything. It's outbound marketing. It's how you leverage in-person events. It's how you leverage QR codes. It's how you learn to run a proper print giveaway. It's how to run sales when the time is right. And it takes time to build it all up, but I don't know any other way that you can do it effectively. Like, in many ways, it's the greatest time ever in the history of mankind to be an artist, because you can reach so many people without leaving your front door for the most part. But being in this business for a long time, talking to thousands of artists, like the number, if I talk to 1,000 artists, the number that have like anything approaching a successful business selling through the galleries is one out of 1,000. It's so small. And I don't believe those numbers to be like hyperbolic. Like the only way to make it that I see are artists that are selling direct, the method that we advocate, and have been doing it for years and years, or the folks that do the Theron show circuit and have been doing that religiously for years and years and years, right? And, you know, it's nice to have a combination of the two as well. But the point is that is the best path for a successful art business. And all of it goes back to where I started. The whole business is about collectors. The whole business is about having a customer list. And the only way that you know who's purchasing from you is if you sell it directly. No other way. Like, you know, you sell through a gallery, they don't tell you, and you can't market to that person. And so you can never build a collector. Only the gallery can. And so, you know, my point in all that is don't take it cynically. Doesn't matter if you ever sign up with art storefronts. It is the only way forward. It is literally the only way forward. Like, you know, thinking that you're going to have the successful art business through selling through galleries is sort of like thinking you're going to make it as a professional golfer because you play golf. Like, the odds are pretty small of that, you know? It's not that how many people do we know that play golf versus are professional golfers, or take your pick, any sport? That's like sort of the odds of what I've seen in my long career of doing that. And, you know, a lot of the literature I've read backs that up as well. There's some good books online. There's one on Amazon called The $10 Million Stuffed Shark that like goes into depth. It's a little bit dated now. It's like 10 years old, but anyway, side tangent. So it's the path forward. I say all that to say the first little clip of time, first couple of years sucks because you have to learn how to do a bunch of things you've never done before. But I don't know what the alternative is. There's no other easier way to actually grow an art business that's going to actually grow, right? And like actually see forward progress year after year after year. And when you start working on it and you start doing it early on, you're going to be pulling your hair out of your head a little bit, but we hold your hand all along the way and be like, don't quit, keep going. And, you know, because it's hard, the vast majority of artists and photographers out there treat this aspect of their business like the New Year's resolution, right? And the exercise analogy is perfect. Like, it's January. When I sign up to that gym, I'm going to start going 4 days a week, and then March rolls around and you haven't been once and it's over and it's done. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So we're sort of like the trainer that sends you the text message, make sure you show up at the workout, yells at you in a nice way, the entire workout to get going, and then we'll text you again on Wednesday, like, get back in here. And that's more what you need than anything else. All of you guys.
And that leads me to another question is I get many emails from all the different people at your company, and it's like, oh, who should I choose? Who should I talk to?
Oh, we're relentless. It's ridiculous. I know we email.
No, so it's I feel like, oh, I'm supposed to pick one of you that sends me, you know, Patrick or this person or that person.
Yeah, it's there's no you know, there's no need, there's no pick this person, that person. Like, it takes a tribe, it takes a village. You're going to end up working with so many people once you come inside that it doesn't matter. Like,
okay, good to know. Okay, that's good.
Takes a village.
And this might open a little can of worms. I hope not, but this has nothing to do with NFTs and OpenSea, that whole world.
No, I mean that's the gold rush. You know, 1942. A whole lot of people come west looking for that gold in those rivers. Do you know who made the money? The people selling the picks and the shovels and Levi Strauss. So forget about that. Although you can sell NFTs in the platform.
No, I mean, I'm glad to hear that, because art storefronts has nothing to do with the NFT world.
Yeah, it's nonsense. So yeah. The good news is that market is utterly, totally, and completely crashed. I don't have to answer it once a week. And I love crypto. And have bought crypto and traded crypto my whole life, as long as it's been around, for the most part. Bought one on eBay when they were $12 early on Bitcoin. Should have kept that one. Probably would have been a little bit happier. But anyway, I like the technology. It's just brand new and such. And So there we go. Okay. Thanks, Julie. Who else, guys? Why we're here? So what I'm going to do once this whole thing is done and wrapped is I'm going to send you a follow-up email. It'll have a bunch of links and a bunch of cool stuff that you can follow up and run around and run through, and all of that jazz. So that'll be an opportunity. Website examples, a number of the other things. I actually probably need to go look at that email. I haven't looked at that email in a couple of weeks. But any final questions, guys, before we wrap? I appreciate you hanging on with me as long as you did. I hope you found it entertaining, at least, if no other reason. Hopefully educational. Do highly recommend that you subscribe to the podcast. It's awesome. You'll learn a ton, I promise. you know, you have to listen to my annoying voice, but other than that, it's good, and it definitely offers the latest and greatest. So totally recommend you guys, subscribe to that in whatever way you listen to podcasts. Also, you can get a demo later in the week on Wednesday or Thursday if you want to come back and be like, I'm going to sit through another one of those, see all the bells, see all the whistles. We obviously have a crazy deal going on right now where we build the website, we maintain it for free, so you can take all of that time, energy, and effort and put it into the only thing that matters, which is the work on the marketing in the business. And we help with a bunch of that too. So that's what I would say. Okay, I've been working as a scenic painter and sculptor in film and entertainment for 30 years. Can you expand on how your site can help take my Hollywood resume to Europe? Print that resume out, Chris. Take it with you in your hand to Europe. That's all you need to do. No one's going to care about the Hollywood resume, sadly. You can show where it becomes cool is when you show the work and you have the intimate stories, about how it was created and who was on set and all of those types of things. That's more where it matters. Karen, you'll get an email every single solitary day to tell you when the sessions are. All you have to do is filter through the raft of bajillion million emails that we send. Does it mean if we're on your website, galleries would not like to work with us? It depends, Julia. It depends on what the relationship is, and there's no one-size-fits-all, answer to that question. Sometimes the art galleries will get really, really upset and be like, you cannot sell direct at all, or I will not represent you. Well, there's one-handed poker, and you have to come to Jesus to decide whether or not that gallery is doing enough to make you happy. You can say to that gallery, yep, I want to build an online presence. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but I will maintain the 50-50 split with you, so no worries. There's a way to placate the gallery right there. Or you can say, look, you're not doing enough to pay my bills. There's a bunch of different ways that you can play it with a gallery. So it just sort of comes down to how you want to do that and what the individual relationship is like. Just go to the website and sign up. I can have somebody contact you, Julie. I'll have one of the 65 people in the ecosystem contact you. All right, I have to make a note, otherwise I'll forget. Julie Marks. Maybe just send me your email, Julie, in the chat. Just chat it to me so I have it, just in case there's multiple Julies. Who look for guys like me? They care. Yeah, Chris, it doesn't matter if they look for guys like you, don't look for guys like you. You still have to get their attention, right? Marketing is fundamentally about getting people's attention. And, if you don't get the attention, then you're not in the game. No one knows who you are. So that comes down to marketing, and that's what I would say about that. So ultimately, they need to know how to find you, right? Even if you got the coolest story ever. Jim's asking what our promotions are this week. And yeah, we've got a crazy one on. We've gone so far so fast. We actually have a competitor that has now put our name in the header of their website. That's how much damage we've done recently. Someone else's name, art storefronts on the header of their website. I love making fun of them for that. It's so blatant. But 6 months ago, we started making it so that no one builds their own websites anymore. We build all of them. Why? Because it's a waste of your time. You don't need to be learning HTML or CSS or JavaScript or GoDaddy or any of that. We will do all that for you. Then we realized going forward, you shouldn't have to do anything. You should never have to touch the website. We will do all of it for you. So now we maintain the thing for life. Why is that? Because we want successful customers. Turns out you guys do not want to be monkeying around with websites in the slightest or learning how to drive them, nor should you. You should be spending the time creating the work, marketing the work, and selling the work. And you leave the technology piece to us. So that is the special. You get both of those things, and we're also taking on some of your social media management. So our offerings just get crazier and crazier, especially in these last couple of months. I feel like we've really been pushing the envelope. Yeah, that's fine, Daisy. I'll let her know. All right, hold on. I'm gonna screenshot that. I feel like you guys are all coming with the raft of questions in the chat all at the very end here. All right, I'm ready. So go ahead. Hold on, I'm going to send this message for... I'm going to get you, Daisy. If I don't do it now, I'll forget about it, and it will be lost to the annals of history. All right. Jim, I don't have a printout of the pricing. I know we've certainly raised our prices recently because our offering just keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier. But all you have to do is email the person that gave it to you and say like, hey, what are the prices? And then you don't necessarily have to jump back into a session or come back to this one on Wednesday or Friday. Exact same time, 1 p.m. Central, Wednesday or Friday. That's what I would say. All right. Any more serious questions? How much money has Art Storefront made since starting? How much money have we made? It's a good question. I don't have any idea what the answer to that question is, Joseph. But even if I did know, I wouldn't tell you. So we're a private company. But let me just tell you, if you want to make millions and millions of dollars, do you know a really good niche to target? Artists. That's a great one. Not hedge fund managers, right? Don't target hedge fund managers. Target artists. That's the way you build a massive business, right? You get that comment on Facebook all the time, right? Like, yeah, this is probably another one of those outfits out there just to really get the artist and capitalize and steal all our creative IP. It's like, what? There is a reason the most used adjective in front of artist is the word starving. Okay? This is not a group you attempt to target whilst waxing your mustache and laughing maniacally. This is not the most profitable niche in the history of mankind, my friend. It's not the one that someone who was trying to exploit or do harm would have any future in. So it's also the reason why we don't have that much competition, right? Because, how many people really want to service this niche? It's not as many as you would think. All right, I'm running out of steam. Any finals, guys? I noticed there was one lady that was completely asleep. I paused her camera so none of you guys can see who it is. Been accused of a lot of things, but having a quiet voice is not one of them. And somehow I lulled her to sleep. I've got to go work on my A game. Got to do some push-ups and stuff. Yeah, Jim, I will send you an email that talks about the promotion. It'll have it right in the footer of my website. But thank you guys for sticking with me through the entire thing. I appreciate all of you putting up with my nonsense. Contemplate the impulse buys, you guys. The impulse items. The whole ball game is number of new customers acquired. It is not going away anytime soon. Once you laser in on that and you focus on that, and this year you acquire 25 instead of 10, your business is going to change because one out of those 15 is going to come back and buy again and again and again. And then they're going to become a collector, and then they're with you for life. And so it really is just a numbers game. It's a volume game. So appreciate all of you guys. I will email you shortly. Great rest of your day. Thanks again.